The most dangerous mindset that you can have as a builder is thinking that once you hit your goal, your milestone, everything will be different, right? That once you make your first 10K in a month, 50K in a month, or you sell your company for $5 million, you exit for $20 million, that's when you finally feel fulfilled, like you've made it. That's when you finally be happy. All nonsense. Here's the truth: you don't, you won't, and you don't. And if you don't understand why, you want to spend the next 10 years chasing a feeling that is fleeting, that does not exist, rather, right? Let me explain. I'm 21 right now. I run an AI automation agency. A year ago, I did not run an AI automation agency. I had no clients, right? I had no proof per se, personally, that this was going to work. I knew that it would work. I knew that I was going to be exactly where I'm at, but I had no proof per se, personally, right? Now, that being the case, I told myself that once I make my first 10K in a month, I'll have some motion, right? And it'll be like that's when everything's going to begin compounding, which that is true. But most people would say, like, once I hit my first 10K in a month, I'm gonna make it. Everything's gonna be great. I'm gonna be happy. That's where things go wrong. For example, I made my first 10K in a month, and I didn't feel any different, right? I just thought to myself, like, right now it's time to bring 100K into reality, right? And that's the thing, right? Because no matter what goal you hit, your brain will immediately move the goalposts, right? And that's because you never get there, right? Because the there does not exist, right? And this is the most dangerous mindset that you can have as a builder, because if you're always chasing the next milestone, you're never actually present, right? You're never actually enjoying the process. You're just grinding toward a future version of yourself that you think will finally be happy, but that version of you doesn't exist either, right? The shift is this, right? You have to stop building toward the future version of yourself and start building as the future version of yourself right now, today, right? Because most people think that once they're successful, they want to act like a successful person, confidence, discipline, and things of that sort. But that is not true, right? That's backwards, right? You don't get those things after you succeed. You get those things before you succeed, and that's the reason why you succeed. That's what caused the success. The version of you that's making 100K a month isn't waiting until he makes 100K a month to act like someone who's making 100K a month. Does that make sense? He's acting like that now in his behavior, in his traits, in his habits, everything, right? He's making the decisions like that right now. He's moving like that right now, and that's why he gets there. So the question you have to ask yourself every single day is, what would the version of me that already has everything I want be doing right now? How would he be spending his time? What would he be focused on? What would he say no to? What would he say yes to? Right? And then you do that. Not because you're faking it until you make it, but because that version of you already exists. You're just choosing to become him now instead of waiting for some external milestone to give you permission. The phrase fake it till you make it, right? It makes sense, but it's sort of wrong, right? But here's where it gets deeper, right? Most people won't admit why they want what they say they want to achieve, right? Whatever they want to build. They'll say, I want financial freedom. I want to help people. I want to make an impact. And sure, that's part of it. That is part of it, but that's not the whole truth. The whole truth is usually a lot darker. It's usually in a deeper place. And this is something that most people, it takes them a long time to even figure it out. But I promise you, once you do, it'll give you a lot of clarity and it'll guide you to your goals a lot quicker, a lot faster, because you know exactly why you're doing it, truly. All right? And when I say dark, I don't mean dark as in bad. I mean dark as in something you're afraid to say out loud because you think it makes you selfish or shallow or something of the sort. The truth is, for me, I want to build $100 million empire because I want to prove to myself and everybody that ever doubted me that I'm capable. I want to look at other people my age and know that I did more than them. I want power. I want influence. I want to be I want to be as far away from average as possible. I want to be able to walk into a room and everybody knows who I am, right? It sounds selfish, but it's the truth. And the moment that I admitted that to myself, everything changed because I stopped pretending like I was building for some noble reason, which I am in certain regards, but I admitted really why, right? I stopped second guessing myself. I started moving, right? And most successful people are like this. They just won't say it out loud, right? They'll give you the PR version. I want to make an impact. I want to help people. But the real reason they're building is because they want to prove something, right? They want to be better than other people. They don't want to be average. They want to win. And there's nothing wrong with that because in order to win, you have to create value. So by virtue of you doing something for a selfish reason, it still ends up being done for the greater good. It's beneficial to the masses, right? So you just have to solve problems. You have to help people. So the selfish motivation leads to a selfless outcome, right? But if you don't admit the selfish motivation to yourself, you'll never have the energy to keep going because building a company, it's stressful, right? It's lonely. time consuming. And if you're only doing it for some vague idea of making impact, you're going to quit the moment it gets hard. But if you're doing it because you want to prove something to yourself or for something deeper and darker, you'll never quit, right? Because that's motivation that doesn't go away. So ask yourself, why do I actually want to build? Not the version you tell other people, the version you're afraid to admit to yourself, because that's the version that's going to carry you through the hard times. So here's what I've learned. The goal isn't to hit some random milestone and then finally feel like you've made it. The goal is to become the kind of person that doesn't need external validation to feel like they made it. The goal is to wake up every single day and know that you're building something that matters, not because it's going to make you rich, not because it's going to make you famous, but because it's aligned with who you actually are, with what you actually want, right? With the version of yourself that you're becoming, that you are. And when you do that, the milestones, they stop mattering as much, right? Because you're not chasing them anymore. You're just building, right? And the milestones become byproducts of the process, not the goal itself, right? And that's when you win. Not when you hit 100K a month, not when you sell your company, but when you stop needing those things to feel like you made it, right? Because you already know you made it. You're living as the version of yourself that you always wanted to be. And everything else is just a bonus. So if you're watching this and you're in that grind mode, if you're building something and you're not where you want to be yet, here's my advice. Stop waiting for future milestones to give you permission to feel like you've made it. Start acting like a version of yourself that already has everything you want. Right now, today, right? Admit to yourself why you actually want to build, not the PR version, the real version, the dark version, the selfish version, right? Because that's the version that's going to carry you through, right? And then just build, not because you're trying to prove something to others, but because you're trying to become the version of yourself that you know you're capable of being. That's the shift. That's the mindset. And that's how you win. All right, that's the video. So if you got value from this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm documenting the process of building my current agency to 100K a month. And that's just overall just my goal for just massive wealth and beyond and all that good shit. So if you want to follow along with the journey, hit subscribe. And if you're building something right now, drop a comment, right? Let me know exactly what you're working on. I read every single comment. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, by the way, I'm currently in Houston, Texas. Flew out for a mastermind, met up with some cool people, but also I'm like scouting to see if this is somewhere that I'll be moving to soon. But it's a solid city, very high ROI environment, and it's pretty cool. Here it is, here's the view. I wanted to get a B&B with like a decent view, but this doesn't have an immaculate view, but you can sort of see out there, it's pretty cool. But we're only going up from here. If you're watching this right now, you are early. You are early if you're watching this right now. So hats off to you. Appreciate you for your time and everything. And yeah, everything is going up from here. But once again, that's about it. My name is Marvell Martin. I will be seeing you guys in the next video. But before I go, actually, I know I made my, if you go back on my channel, like I made my intro video, right? My intro video was pretty much me just speaking to my future self. And already a lot of the things that I'm speaking about is manifesting itself, right? As far as the things that I'm doing, the financial milestones I've hit, business milestones, really, just giving value to other people, it's all manifesting itself. And everything that I envisioned is all entering into the physical realm, right? It's a beautiful process. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make your dreams come true. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, as I said before, and let's keep this going.